Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the World Championship Series Europe Premier League, Season 3 of 2014. Rowdy crowd tonight, yeah, I love it. It's great. We have, of course, already seen one night of StarCraft 2 action. Last night's Group A was emotional, to say the least, for one particular player. But two players advanced, as we promised they would. Tonight we'll see two more join them in the quarterfinals. It is a 16-man round of 16, of course. And tonight's Group B is the final group of the week. But next week we're back with more WCS Europe, with the round of 16 continuing on Tuesday with Group C, and we'll wrap up Group D on Wednesday. We'll also tell you a little bit later on in the show when the finals will take place. We have the dates for you and all of the ticket information as well. It's coming up a little bit later in the show. For now, though, let's check in with our analyst at the desk. He filled in for us yesterday, and he was brilliant, it has to be said. The man knows his StarCraft. He's the one and only Funker! Woohoo!
Hey.
Hey.
How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Same as yesterday.
Good.
Good.
Good. It was great to have you on the show yesterday. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Because we talk to you a lot behind the scenes, and we know what a great job you do as an observer. And we kind of know your passion for StarCraft and how much you love the game and what have you. But you rarely get a chance to kind of tell people. I think people saw a different side of you yesterday. It was nice.
Yeah, it was nice. I really enjoy being on this side of the camera.
Indeed,
you know?
and you have Kalaris to thank for that.
Yeah, thank you, Kalaris. But still, get better soon, please.
Indeed. Do if you weren't with us last night, you won't be aware, but Kalaris unfortunately is suffering from some sort of fatal disease. I don't know quite what it is, but he can't speak, which is kind of a prerequisite for his job. So he's unfortunately tucked up in bed at home, hopefully being looked after by his lovely girlfriend. And we hope that you get better soon and join us back on WCS. Hopefully he'll be back next week. For now, though, we do have your good self, which we're very pleased about. Talk to me about Group A yesterday.
It was a great group, actually. Like, a lot of the games were really interesting, and at the same time it was heartbreaking because we lost the two Fnatic players, Mini Razor and Hostem, and both of them, they showed a lot of emotion, and it was sad to see them go. Like, just simply put, I was sad for Hostem, was sad for Mini Razor, but the Terran inside of me is pretty happy that Bunny and Happy made it through.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. It's a very good thing that the Terrans came through from a Terran point of view. But like you say, Hostem, heartbreaking really for him. I said to him yesterday, don't worry too much. I know this is sad right now and you feel bad that you played badly, but you didn't play badly. And actually, he should be very proud of how far he's come in the last 12 months because he's shown some extraordinary skill against some very good players over the last year. And I'm sure we'll see him back in 2015 in WCS again because he's just been fantastic. So hopefully he feels a bit better today and he's not dwelling too much on what happened yesterday. But as you said, two Terrans through. We're going to concentrate on Group B today. 4 very talented players, it has to be said. Not that there aren't any talented players in the round of 16, they're all talented, but they all have a little bit of a different story. TLO, hometown favourite.
TLO, hometown favourite.
No cheers, they're not paying attention to the audience.
You say TLO and the crowd goes wild.
Sort of.
It's not happening.
It's not happening. No, that's interesting. Well, we'll have to find out. 39th currently in WCS. Really doesn't have a shot at BlizzCon. San, on the other hand, 24-year-old, ranked number 6. He's already there. Signed, sealed, delivered, passports in, and he's ready to go. Vortex 34th. Disappointing for him, though, this year. But YoDa, 48th in the WCS points right now. But Apollo thinks, and I tend to agree with him because he knows what he's talking about, probably the favourite in the group.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, on recent form, YoDa has been amazing. I'd say like 6 or 8 weeks ago, since 8 weeks ago, he's been really amazing. So I think he comes quite naturally as the favourite of this group. But he's got some pretty tough opponents today.
He has indeed. Let's talk through them a little bit each. I kind of feel a bit worried for the two Zergs in this group. Normally I wouldn't, because TLO, we've talked about him before, very creative Zerg player, some crazy builds. He's really quite happy to mess around with different types of play style that keeps his opponents guessing. So we know that he's a tricky player to play against. Vortex, man has been absolutely consistent in WCS, has reached the round of 8, the quarterfinals in each one of the last 4 seasons consecutively.
It's amazing.
And has played in every single Premier League, as has TLO. So both of them, super talented Zergs in Europe. They're probably amongst the best that we've got. The reason I worry for them a little bit in this group is that they're up against two Zerg experts. San, whose PVZ is out of this world. Every time we watch him play, Kalaris won't mind me stealing his stat, but he's currently 20-0 in WCS against Zergs. Has never lost against a Zerg.
Never.
In WCS. And YoDa, I've got to just double check this one, right? Because I've written it down, but it's hard to believe. His form in TVZ is 84.9% win rate. So the two Zergs have got their work cut out, haven't they?
Exactly. They have to face VZ specialists, and because of that, it's going to be really tough. Like, for example, our first matchup, TLO versus YoDa. I'm going ahead of schedule.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Let's throw the bracket up right now so that you can see the matches that we've got coming up. These are the matches. TLO versus YoDa to kick us off, and Vortex versus San. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, TLO, YoDa, it's going to be a really tough matchup for both of them, because from what I think, TLO is a player that shines in that kind of format, like the WCS format. You know who you're gonna play weeks before, so you can train specific builds, which is exactly what TLO is good about.
Yeah, no, he's been doing that before. I remember actually season 1, he had all Protoss in his group, and he was like, aha, easy. I know exactly what to play against for the next 6 weeks. And he does, you're right, he absolutely does that. I mean, putting you on the spot a little bit when we're talking about the whole group, do you still fancy YoDa? I know it's a Terran as well, so you're a little bit biased, but does he stand out, or is San got something extra? Having been to the semi-finals 2 seasons ago and the final last season, does he not have something a little bit extra here?
Yeah, he has. In a group with two Zergs, with his form, and not even his form, like, he's the PVZ master ever since I can remember. Like, he's been playing since 2010, playing really early in StarCraft 2, and he's always been impeccable in PVZ, so that's a group where he can shine. So probably we should, if I can go ahead, maybe have a YoDa versus San matchup that could happen in the second game, and that's where everything is going to be decided, in my opinion. All
right, we're going to turn our attention to TLO now.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier on, 6 consecutive seasons in the Premier League. Ultra consistent, one of only a handful of players. Happy yesterday, one of them. Vortex today is another one. But very few players have shown that level of consistency. 5th in season 1 of last year is his best result. He's also had a top 4 this year at Intel Extreme Masters in Sao Paulo. So really has started to break through some of the mental barriers that he may have had in 2013. Except his WCS form this year hasn't been particularly stellar. I mean, round of 16 twice, round of 32 once. But where do you rate him right now?
It's kind of hard to tell every time with TLO. Is it the tournament where he's going to be really good, or is it an off day? You can't really tell about TLO. You know, he's always going to be there. He's going to play his best, that's for sure, but you can't really place him somewhere, because he can go from round of 32, as you said, to winning the tournament. That's what he does, and it's really hard to anticipate how he's going to be playing. I didn't see him play or stream recently, so I'm pretty sure he prepared some stuff and he kept them to himself.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be a blast to see.
Okay, turning our attentions to the Korean. The 21-year-old, incredibly 21-year-old. I still can't believe he's only 21. YoDa, former member of Incredible Miracle, of course. Spent almost 3 years with them as a successful player and team. Has a unique background in the fact that he was the first man to win a Heart of the Swarm tournament, Intel Extreme Masters in 2013, the very first one in Heart of the Swarm. But since then, sort of, well, I don't know how to put this nicely, but he kind of fell off the face of the earth. Yeah. I mean, I don't know where he was. It might have been Endor or something, but he's disappeared. Where's he been?
I don't know. Like, it's a player that really shined at the beginning of Heart of the Swarm. He was great with the new Medivac, with the Medivac boost, and if I remember correctly, he used a lot of mine drops early game against Protoss. So he picked up really easily, really fast what was good about Terran in Heart of the Swarm. So that explains why he did so good in IEM in the beginning of HOTS. But then afterwards, I don't know if that's his training regiment or something went wrong, basically. And he's starting to bounce back these days. Like, as I said, maybe 8 weeks ago, he started competing and playing really, really well.
Okay, we're going to get into the map vetoes very shortly. I can see the players are waiting, so we'll let them crack on with the map vetoes. Meanwhile, we'll also talk about the fact that it's a great point you pick up on. It's the last 8 weeks or so. For the last few months, he's been living with 2 of the greatest StarCraft 2 players on the planet. and playing and practicing with them every day, MCing first. His teammate now, of course. He's also joined a new team, TCM, who have first as well. And unfortunately for him, he's met his teammate in the last 3 tournaments and ended up knocking him out of WCS round of 32. It's I don't know how that works. Yeah, team curse or something. But all of that added together, the move to Europe, the playing with great players every day, teaming up with TCM, it's all added to his confidence and made him back to the player perhaps he was 18 months ago.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he has everything for him, going for him. He's got the training partners, he's got the structure, and now he has the team that can send him to a lot of foreign tournaments, and that's really what a pro player needs. So I'm guessing he's, back to his form of 18 months ago, because he's got every green light to do so.
Okay, map-wise, King Sejong, Nimbus, and Overgrowth. What a shock. If I told you the 3 most played maps in the round of 32, what would they be?
King Sejong, Overgrowth, and Nimbus.
Correct. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't hard, was it?
Yeah, that was an easy one.
I was talking actually to Hasselhoff this morning about it in terms of why are we seeing this kind of map selection, and he feels that King Sejong and Overgrowth, they're pretty good for almost all races. I mean, there's a tiny little bias, maybe one way or another, depending on the player. But generally speaking, those two are good, balanced maps for pretty much anyone. On the other hand, Nimbus, we sort of feel like is better for Zergs against Terrans. And that would be borne out in the round of 32 with 5 wins and only 1 win for Terran in TVC.
Really?
Yeah, it's gone the other way. And I found that quite interesting because I never really thought of it as a Zerg map.
Yeah, personally, I think it's Terran favorite in TVZ.
And I do okay even in my level, so I was like, that seems a bit weird. But when you look at the stats, that's what it says. 17% win rate for Terrans on Nimbus against Zerg.
That's pretty bad.
So I think someone has been looking at the stats when you look at that map selection.
Yeah,
so,
and that was TLO speak, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, so
it'd be very interesting to see what happens on that map. But yeah, some of the other maps, Catalina, Foxtrot, Terran-friendly maps, do you think?
Catalina, probably.
Yeah.
Foxtrot, I'm not really sure. Okay. So, but it's just I think it's not played that much. Even the ladder, you don't come across it
8
that
times
often.
in round of 32 only. The least played map was actually Deadwing, which unless you're a Protoss, I guess
it's a macro frenzy. Like take 4 base and then fight. It's not a really interesting map as a strategical point of view. It's just a macro map and just do your thing.
I think we're almost ready for the game to start, so almost time for our commentators. Just one quick word from you. Where's this first match going?
I'm going to take the obvious pick and say YoDa, but I'm really looking forward the TLO's side of the game, because that's what's going to decide the matchup, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you very much, Funker. We'll come back with Funker very shortly after the matches, get his thoughts as well. And of course, we've got an announcement to make about the finals a little bit later on tonight as well, so make sure you stay tuned for that. No, for now, we are going to head towards our commentators. First, a little quick reminder, don't forget to mention #WCS when you tweet about the games tonight, and you too could be having your 15 seconds of fame at the bottom of the screen in the matches. Also, make sure you're following the official @StarCraft channel on Twitter and /StarCraft on Facebook.com as well. Time for our first game of the round of 16 Group B. It's TLO versus YoDa with Apollo and Hasselhoff.
Thank you very much, guys, and welcome here to the commentary desk once again for day 2 of the round of 16. And as the guys have talked about the group, let's talk more specifically about our first match here. TLO versus YoDa. What's the first thing that pops to your head when we say that?
That's going to be tough for the German.
Tough for the German.
Yeah, definitely. YoDa is, as Funker said, the last 8 weeks, he's improving so much, and you see the difference from the old YoDa we knew the last month. It was like nothing special, but the last 2 months, I think he's improved so much, and he's he's placing himself very high in tournaments, and it's good. While TLO, very consistent, I'd say.
Consistent, but not on a high level. It's like the round of 32, 16 area consistent.
Yeah, I would call it like that. Sometimes he has a peak where he, for example, when he beat Bomber at one of the IEMs.
Interactive Master Sao Paulo earlier this year, top 4 finish for the German.
Yeah, but overall, as you mentioned, more like round of 32 or round of 16, but definitely he has a chance of advancing.
He, throughout a lot of TLO's careers, had a quarterfinal mental block. He's got to a lot of top 8s over the years, but struggled to get past that. But he did reach that top 4. And again, has had an interesting year. You know, round of 32 last season, round of 16 before that, back in the round of 16 again. But YoDa, you said it best to me before, and it's actually better than anyone described YoDa to me ever, actually, is that after he hit that Intel Extreme Masters championship, the World Championship, when he was that world champion, he learned the game and understood it faster and better than anyone else, and he got a win from it.
Yeah.
But as soon as people started to learn and adapt to the game, he dropped off. And if it wasn't for coming to Germany, we may not even see him here today. He's grabbed an opportunity, and he really has grabbed it.
Indeed, yeah. He has the chance, since he's living in Germany, to attend to more European tournaments or even overseas. And yeah, he's playing in the WCS EU, and he's doing a decent job so far. I mean, there's still a road to go till he's reaching the semifinals or finals, because I think he's aiming for that. I was talking to, I don't know if it's his manager, Real, at least coach, yeah. And Real was like, yeah, it would be cool, or it would be nice to see the guys in the semi-final or final. That's what they aim for, and that's why they're here.
Well, YoDa, over the last 4 months, has grabbed 4 top 16 finishes with a top 8 as well at the Intel Extreme Masters Toronto. And he really is no longer the player, let's say 6 months ago, who was having difficulty playing with the best Europeans. He's now on top of that and is actually tackling some of the good Koreans again. He's really evolved as a player through hard work and dedication. And this season very well could be his season, but here, game 1 of the day, TLO, of course, the local kind of Berlin boy, kind of local German, versus YoDa. And here we are. Nimbus, the first map, Overgrowth, the second, King Sejong Station, the third if needed. Down here to the bottom right-hand side is the red Zerg player playing for Team Liquid. It's TLO. A focused, very concentrated expression there as he goes up against the Terran player. The blue Terran player on the top right-hand side playing for Team TCM. It's YoDa.
And I think YoDa's style in TVZ is extremely straight up. I don't think I've ever, or almost ever, seen him like doing hellbat pushes or stuff. He really loves to play the bio with Widow Mines and Medivacs. He has very good macro, very good micro. He's on top of his upgrades. He has decent multitasking as well with the drops and so on. So I think he really loves to play the straight-up games against Zerg, and that's why he has such a good win rate against Zerg as well.
Doesn't really die to too many attacks, is able to play out a good game in the later stages. We'll see how this is going to play out, because TLO is a player who is very capable of tricks and weird surprises that he can bring to the table. Whether it be some funky all-in, whether it be some, you know, some creep spread in the middle of the map all of a sudden starting, via an Overlord and Queen.
I was thinking of that as well, especially with creep spread. He knows a lot of stuff, a lot of things that other players never do, and he's using it with some success as well. It's not only a trickery, it's actually winning him games.
We'll see how well he's going to do here today, because there is a recent rise of Terran success once again in the StarCraft 2 scene, especially, I mean, if we just think back to yesterday, 2 Terran players first place. Today as well, 2 players won in the GSL as well. So lots of success all around the world right now for Terrans, and will that be echoed again today? Because for a lot of people, YoDa is a favorite here into today's group.
Yeah, I think so too. YoDa is the favorite here, and then we have Sun, very, very strong Korean Protoss player with an extremely good record against Zerg. So the 2 Zergs here, they have a really hard time, not only because they are foreigners, but because they are playing against guys who are extremely good against Zerg.
Well, TLO is scouted very early on here with his first Overlord, has spotted that this is going to be a Reaper opening. YoDa has taken 2 out of gas here to optimize his mineral income. Could be looking at a greedy setup here if he wants to try and go for a fast third command center. Could be the case here if he's not mining much gas for the time being. Third CC, a little bit risky though if he was to go for it, but second is down, Reaper on the way. And a difference between our Zerg yesterday and today, we do actually see 6 Zerglings being made compared to the 4, which was running the risk of potentially losing drones, that being Mini Razor, of course. But TLO, no risks here, just 6 to make sure he doesn't lose anything.
Yeah, indeed, and he's actually trying to surround the Reaper, and he almost got it. It was pretty close. YoDa took a little bit of risk there, but in the end, usually not too much should happen with this. I mean, it's a small dance in the early game. We see that every time, and as you mentioned, usually you shouldn't lose a drone. Yesterday, Mini Razor was a bit greedy, and
he's going for the surround here.
Yeah.
And the Reaper squeezes out just there.
And
TLO even pulling drones off the line, so slight mistake from TLO for sure.
And we do see a third CC going up, as you mentioned before, and that's a very good read with pulling out of gas.
So greedy opening here for YoDa, for sure. But TLO likewise hasn't taken any gases, is focusing on mineral-only income, of course, with Zerglings, Queens, and Drones being the 3 units he's building currently. I suppose you can count Overlord as a 4, so 4 sets. But, you know, very slow opening from both players here, looking to drag it out, looking to play the later stages, looking to only focus on, of course, the economy.
I think that slightly favors YoDa, right? Because he saw that there is no gas taken, so he has to be not careful at all. There's nothing that could kill him at this point of the game, right? Because slow links, I mean...
And TLO is very much so still gasless at this point, which is a little bit risky. He's going to be really relying on Queens here. He's taking his gas com the 6-minute mark, and ideally in this kind of build, you want it at around 5 minutes to make sure that you get Zergling speed or Roaches to deal with Hellions. So fortunately for him, that isn't the case, that it isn't as fast as it could be. And he is kind of matching what YoDa's gone for here.
Okay, yeah. Creep spread is starting for TLO. 2 Queens, as you mentioned. Because of the gasless style, he's getting a few more Queens, additional ones. So 2 of them are constantly spreading creep while the others are injecting. Taking down the rocks just to have a bit more room.
But definitely greedy openings from both, just to outline that for sure.
Let's see, the first Hellions are about to pop. Oh no, actually the first ones are actually cross-map already. Trying to deny the creep a little bit. We don't see any kind of Banshee follow-up as we saw the third CC, so the hatchery shouldn't be in trouble at all. Yeah,
probably see double engineering bay come down fast from YoDa here. I mean, he's played greedy this far in the game. He might as well continue it.
Yeah, that's the style he loves to play. That's exactly what we just mentioned.
Very greedy.
Yeah. Like very straight up. I mean, this is very greedy, but also very straight up. There's nothing he could kill TLO right now. He does drop a scan.
Yeah, sees double evolution chamber, and kind of both players have accepted that both of them have opened up greedy at this point. The scan coming in for YoDa shows in that TLO no aggression whatsoever. YoDa has been spotted with his 3rd command threat as well, so likewise TLO does know that his opponent's being greedy. But these Hellions definitely offer a threat here, for sure.
Definitely, yeah. There's no speed. TLO's also getting Burrow right now, and he's realizing the Hellions could maybe deal some damage, so he's getting a Spine Crawler as well at the 3rd base.
Yeah, he doesn't want to take losses versus these Hellions, and there's quite a few of them, 8 in total here. And YoDa's going to swing by. He's going to get a bit of damage on that first creep, but he goes straight for the drones here. 3 down already, and more down. 7 in total here. 9 drones. And oh dearie me, TLO is getting punished for just not having any units out here.
Oh my god, and actually he's getting into the main base. There's not a single Zergling. There's 1 more Queen. There's no wall off either because the Evo chambers were at the hatchery.
This is disastrous here for the German. He's trying to make the best of the situation by building walls here with his drones, but he's being punished. He has just simply got no units, 19 drones, and as simple as that, the Hellions say, okay, if you're going to play like this, then fine, I'll run by the Queens.
Yeah, that...
26 drones. 30 drones.
Oh my god, it's getting worse and worse. This is out of control already. And behind this, the macro didn't slip at all. Just look at the production tab. Starport, 1-1 is on the way, additional barracks is. Beautiful play by YoDa here, and there was no queen in the at the ramp. You can you have to have a queen there, right? Because otherwise you run the risk of Hellions running by.
And TLO's decided to go for an all-in here. He's got 20 lings on the way. I suppose he's just going to try and Baneling bust the front door and give it a good whack, because right now there is not much he can do, man. He is incredibly far behind. A scan comes in from YoDa. Sees units being made. A layer starts randomly there, but I think he's going to have a bit of a clue to what's going on at this point, seeing all these units flooding across. Though, I say that, but no bunkers are coming down, and he's trying to take his 3rd, so doesn't look like he has read into this properly. And there's a small opportunity this can still work.
Stimpack, let's check. Stimpack is done, of course. Combat shield is on the way. The first 2 medivacs as well, but still a few seconds before they finish. Can the Banelings make it work?
I'm not sure here. This is slow Banelings, a lot of units. Maybe if the Marines move down here, this is a good chance, though. The Marines are coming down because YoDa has no idea what's going on. TLO spots it. If he can wrap around with Zerglings here.
He's scanning even. He's scanning if there are borrowed Banelings or whatever. I don't know why he was scanning in front of his natural.
Yeah, what are these Banelings going to do? More lings are being made, and they're coming across here.
Oh my god, if the speedlings surround the Marines
Yeah, but
at
the
the third.
medivacs are coming in, or they're close. And here we go. TLO's going to walk up the front door, and the supply depot's down, and he just walks inside the main base here. And a disastrous little opportunity here for YoDa. This is terrible.
There's 2 banelings both at the ramp. Oh my god.
Great detonation there by TLO. Does he have enough to actually break his opponent, though? There's a lot of lings still on the way. The supply depot's still there, so he can actually raise it to hold into his main base. And he is going to back off there. That's a bit of a sticky situation for sure for both sides. But looks like YoDa's going to be fine. He's got more units coming out. Widowmine's on the way, a bunker being made. And, yeah.
That Widowmine.
That happens.
He actually got almost every single Marine, but the reinforcements of YoDa were enough to defend it off. And keep in mind, he has... both players actually have 1-1. Sorry, never mind.
Yeah, and he gets a wrap-around here, but good target fire into the banelings, and he does bring them down. But with Widowmines here,
Yeah.
I think he is going to be able to hold on to this. There are the lings still flooding over. But he pushes his back once again. It's 68 SCVs to 49 drones, and those Hellions are the game.
And that was actually the best engagement TLO could hope for, I believe. Like having the banelings on the ramp and YoDa not realizing, so he ran over with like 15 Marines or something, and they all died at the same second.
Yeah.
But still, I think it was just 2 little Zerglings to actually deal a lot of damage to the production or even the SCVs. And now, as you mentioned, the drone count is so little.
Yes.
70 SCVs for YoDa. This is crazy.
Yeah, this is basically a free ride here for YoDa. He can lift up these medivacs at any point, or lift up the Marines with the medivac SAR if he wants to, but he's actually just taking the fight to the lings and is actually winning.
Good
So
call.
whatever the case, he's just going to walk over TLO here, and not the best of starts here for the team with good players. I mean, this is just the kind of the worst start to have, obviously.
Yeah, as you said, the Hellions were basically the game-ending point. There was a small hope for him when he saw the Marines were out of position that he might be able to turn it around, but now so many scans being used by YoDa. They are overlapping each other. But
He does not want to have any borrowed banelings anywhere in this game. We do have Widowmines detonating well on that set of lings, and TLO knows GG. Good game and an easy start there for YoDa. Just a simple Hellion run-by picks him up game number 1.
just imagine having the 2 Evo chambers at the ramp with 1 queen to block it off. Nothing. I mean, of course, the third would have been under assault, so maybe you lose like 8 drones. I think there weren't more than 8 mining at the third at that point, but letting the Hellions in, getting damage in the main, at the natural, and at the third, that was just too much for him to handle.
And that kind of loss, I mean, if he lost straight up and it was an epic game of 30 minutes, you can accept that. You're like, all right, cool, this guy's playing well today. Okay, I'll take it to map number 2. But to lose like that is going to be so... I guess just, you're going to just feel bitterness. I don't really know however to describe it, because it was such a simple maneuver that shouldn't be winning games at this level.
You're probably angry on yourself that you made such a simple mistake, which actually cost him the game. So it's time to focus again. It's time to get your stuff together, right? You need to close the hole in the ramp. Hellions are not allowed to drive in, and that's exactly what he has to focus on. Because I think he was doing a decent job. Because he had good creep spread, he was greedy. The Evo chambers were, he was upgrading and stuff, so I don't know.
The thing is, it's a gamble. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, technically, YoDa doesn't know if there are quite a few lings there.
Yeah.
And if he does run on, he could get surrounded and lose. But he ran through, he took the gamble, and it's a win there. But likewise for TLO, took the gamble that it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, it wouldn't happen.
But it did. So going over to game number 2 now, it is going to be on Overgrowth. Can we see this turned around? Up here to the top right, playing for Team Liquid. We've had multiple Liquid success in other regions, in this region in America. Can it happen again today as the Red Zerg player? It is TLO. And down here to the bottom left-hand side of the Grove, playing for Team TCM is the Blue Terran. It's YoDa. And we've seen some emotional settings in the WCS at the round of 16 before from TLO, losing games that, you know, he didn't want to lose, didn't think he would lose. Even in the round of 32, we've seen that happen as well.
Yeah. Seems to be the story of the WCS.
Yeah.
Same for Snoot, unexpected losses. Yesterday, Harston was extremely disappointed losing in his group, I mean.
Do you think with TLO, do you think that he struggles from nerves, chokes in scenarios where he should do better? Or do you think the results that happen are just expected? Or do you see more from him than what he actually provides?
That's a very hard question, because sometimes he does very well in tournaments, as we mentioned. Sometimes he's able to beat extremely good Koreans. And I think if you meet him in ladder, he's always a threat. Like he never plays bad in ladder from what I've seen. But he also has like the peaks in the good way. He also has it in the bad way, where he really he basically fucks up and he loses the game in a very weak way. What we just saw on Nimbus, and that's things that shouldn't happen. And I mean, it happens often to a lot of players, and that separates you from the very best, I think.
But it happens a lot with TLO.
Yeah, I guess it happens to other players as well. It's very hard to call, but...
It's funny because that kind of describes his career, as you describe just how he plays, because if you look at all his tournament results from 2010, where he, shot onto the scene, was very popular, he had a massive nosedive, and then he came back up again, and now he's at this consistent level. He definitely is one of the players who's had some major swings in his career.
Especially in the early days when he was not really sure which race he wanted to play. You saw a lot of different results with when he was playing Protoss, and then he was switching to Terran random, then he was switching to Zerg, and with Zerg, definitely he had the most success, and he is actually still playing Zerg, and I think it fits his playstyle the most.
All right, so Reaper opening here again from YoDa, just a single Reaper. He's not going to play as greedy as he did in the first game. Still mining gas. We'll be getting that factory down very, very shortly. He's going to have a quick look inside this base, and hasn't quite seen the second gas, but he's going to dance around, maybe see a drone or two bringing in some gas, so you'll probably know, and obviously know. So he'll have a closer look in a second, and there is that closer look. So he knows that Zergling Speed is on the way. He knows that he's going to have to leave for around 6 minutes here.
Indeed. Do you think he opened up the Triple Command Center on Nimbus because overall it's a more macro-oriented map?
Yeah.
Compared to like Overgrowth?
Think back to Mini Razor trying to be super aggressive on that map yesterday. It's very difficult to execute. It's very hard to break that ramp, and there's a good surface area for the Terran. I think it's a good map to play that on. I think he kind of addressed the map order well with that choice.
I think so too.
And then back over to a more standardized build here, so just the regular gas income with the second gas now coming in too. So could be Hellion Banshee. We could be looking at something similar that we saw Happy use yesterday, which is for the Hellbat style with a couple of Marines thrown in the mix. So a couple of choices here for YoDa. But of course we'll start up with that Hellion production.
Yeah, TLO getting 2 more Zerglings while Speed is about to finish, so he's able to chase away the Reaper. Might be able to take his 3rd hatchery right after. Dropping the first 2 Mors. Wow, that died very quickly. The Reaper. Didn't expect it to die that quickly. Was able to deny one of the 2 Mors.
He did bring that down here. Zergling Speed finishing up for TLO, but it is just drones as he's about to take his 3rd base, so you'd imagine drones very, very shortly here. But Medivac on the way for YoDa. Marine production coming down. We are going to see that armory. We're going to see that push come out. And now it's a simple test of TLO's defense here. Does he, well, he doesn't scout it. He only has 1 overlord on the natural here. Does he anticipate this? Does he build a Balin Nest or Roach Warren in defense because of something like this? Does he expect a 3rd command center? Because we could see an easy game just like we saw yesterday from Happy.
Yeah, we could see that. Is this build somewhat of a skill check? Like, it sounds a bit...
It's more
sounds a bit harsh, but like, I think if the Terran... He needs to do a lot of damage with this, right?
Yeah.
So
it's more of a defensive check. Like, it does he have a Roach Warren in his build order?
Yeah.
Does he have a Balin Nest in his build order? Because right now he doesn't. He does have 4 Queens with a 5th building and a Balin Nest coming in now, so I think he's starting to maybe feel this out a little bit, just in, the timings of it, but it's going to happen, and it's pretty fast.
1 Zergling is getting in. He's about to scout the armory. Okay, so he now...
Yeah.
Well, but it might be too late because the Terran is already in his
The Balin Nest is so far away. This is going to be difficult to hold on to here. There's a lot of Marines with this as well, and the push forward comes, and TLO just has very minimal units right now, only a handful of Lings, and are they really going to get a good surround on this? Even if they do, they're going to get burnt to pieces here. Yeah. And the attack is taking place. 1 Queen already down on that left-hand side, and very, very low here. The Spore Coil completes, and it is getting to the Medivac here, but it does boost out.
Wow, that died so quickly.
TLO's waiting to build Banelings here, but he's lost a lot already.
Yeah, he didn't lose drones so far, I believe.
Just
maybe
Queens.
A few ones, but all the Queens died, the Spore died, so the Medivac is still healing the Hellbats. And if YoDa can secure the position on the ramp, then maybe the Banelings and Zerglings cannot get down.
There's only 3 Banelings right now, and they're going to have to try and get themselves on detonator onto these units. And a decent wraparound for the Lings, but still 2 Hellions remain.
4.
And, yeah, it's 4 Hellbats here. And drones coming back down here. They don't want to really come down that road
Oh, no,
right now.
no, right on the drone. Okay, wow.
Guys, careful. I think TLO may be using his drones to fight here. I think he is. He's got nothing left. He's got 2 lings, 10 on the way. And right now, this is TLO dying in this game. GG, YoDa takes a 2-0. And quite an easy 2-0 to say the least there.
I don't know what to say. Is this build order that strong, or is it just the Zergs? First of all, don't expect it to happen. And second of all, don't react in the correct way. Like, what's going on? I mean, my insight in TVZ is not that great, but I'm really surprised that the Zergs keep dying to this. Mini Razor died twice today. We see TLO dying to it.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate, and it must feel horrible because this is just like an executed build, and you die to it very easily.
Yeah, I mean, usually we've been seeing Zergs in recent times bailing nest down much, much faster. Maybe some roach play to begin the game up. Maybe concentrate a lot more on the 2 bases here, which is heavier with queens, maybe 4 or 5 queens on 2 bases and a slower third. There are ways to approach it, but in the last day or two, we haven't seen them, unfortunately, and we've had 3 very easy wins from the same build in just 2 days.
Yeah, I wonder if we will see it again if Vortex has to play one against the Terrans. As you mentioned, I think there has to be an earlier roach run or Baneling Nest.
Yeah.
Either one has to be built. Or I think Mini Razor had a Spine Crawler yesterday, but not enough queens. So maybe if you have enough queens and 1 Spine Crawler, you can maybe defend it. It looks strong. It looks strong, and I think it needs a very certain way to defend it.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to be mentally prepared for it, more importantly, because I think TLO didn't really see that coming at all, really, until it was almost on his side of the map. He started to feel it out, or just kind of at the back of his mind say, this is possible, this could happen, so I'm going to throw down a Baneling Nest anyway. But it was just all too late.
Yeah, and with scouting the tech lab and glowing, he started to build spores. So he expected Banshees, but then the Helvets were already in his natural. So
yeah, not the best of starts, unfortunately, here for the German. And it's going to make a very difficult Group B for him to try to climb from the lower bracket to the decider and then hopefully fight for a 2nd place finish. But it is YoDa who goes through to the winners match here. Nice and easy for him. I think that was 10-15 minutes worth of gameplay. Not a difficult start for the young man, but he is standing by, ready for the winners interview.
Yes, with YoDa. YoDa, congratulations. Great game. Very easy, I guess, would be the better way of saying that. Can you explain to us why TVZ is so easy for you?
이번 경기를 좀 쉽게 이겼는데 너 왜 이렇게 테란 대 저그전 이렇게 쉽게 잘하는지.
지금 패치되고 솔직히 테란이 저그한테는 지면은 안 된다고 생각하거든요. 그 정도로 테란이 지금 좋고 솔직히 좀 첫 경기라서 손도 풀어야 되고 해서 좀 그러니까 대회를 그 운영 이렇게 힘싸움 위주로 하고 싶었는데 초반에 둘 다 빨리 끝나버려가지고 좀 아쉽긴 한데 그래도 이겨서 좋아요.
Okay. The beginning, I think, in my opinion, after patch Terran against Zerg, Terran shouldn't be lose because Terran now too strong, and unfortunately, I wanted to be show more strategy or to be late game, but it's past to finish it, so yeah, it just feel some easy. Yeah, take it easy.
Okay, so he's taking it easy as well. That's hard. I wanted to ask you one other thing, which is, I know that you've been playing with First and with MC. How much of a difference has it made playing with those guys in the last few months to your game?
지금 요다 아니 민철이랑 이제 현우랑 이제 석현이랑 같이 생활하잖아. 이제 그거를 통해서 얼마나 많이 바뀌었는지 많이 생활을 하면서.
뭐 어떤 게 바뀌었어요?
같이 게임을 하면서 많이 실력이 늘었는지.
일단 아무래도 같이 하는데 일단 도움이 많이 되는데 어떤 부분이냐면은 만약에 막히는 부분이 있으면은 이렇게 서로 의논해가지고 왜 그런지 이렇게 뭐 알아내고 그런 식으로 도움이 되는 것 같아요.
Actually helps a lot because I'm living with them and we discuss a lot about strategy and it helps a lot for me.
Okay, all right, well, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, YoDa. Congratulations and well played. There was, yesterday's matches were very emotional. Today we're expecting to see plenty more passion here from our StarCraft 2 players. Anyone that thought there wasn't enough passion in the scene should check this out. We'll see you in a few.
He's going to retreat back. There's 2 Storms on that High Templar. The 3rd base is gone. Colossus coming in. And Hearthstone needs to play from 2 bases here. And Happy's army's getting healed up despite those armies. And all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, this happens. And Hearthstone's last High Templar gonna lose it to a Marine and a Marauder. No more Storms. 3 High Templar, but no Storms.
I think that's the moment where he realizes it's over. GG,
well played. Happy lives on here in Group A, makes it to the deciders match. And unfortunately, Hearthstone with a loss versus Bunny and a loss versus Happy is eliminated in the round of 16 here. In last place, and very close each series today against Bunny and likewise Happy, but he is eliminated here as Happy goes over to consolidate. But that is unfortunate there for Hearthstone, last place for him.
What a ballsy move, man.
Yeah.
Happy was pretty far ahead in this game, and then he pulls all his SCVs, and he gets stormed twice in the middle of everything.
Yeah. Today's been a group full of emotion from the high end to the low end here in the World Championship Series in this all-European group. But it is Happy who survived.